Why is the Pentagon rushing to move a slow-moving floating city halfway around the world, burning millions of dollars every single day at a time when stealth bombers can strike anywhere on Earth within hours? Why do we still rely on these massive assets? Moving a U.S. supercarrier from the South China Sea to the Persian Gulf is not a simple journey. It is a logistical nightmare. This is a massive operation with a daily burn rate exceeding $6.5 million. Yet there is a critical reason behind it. A bomber strikes and leaves. A carrier strike group stays. It parks 70 fighter jets off an adversary's coastline and keeps them there. It establishes a persistent no-fly zone, something bombers alone cannot sustain. So how do U.S. attack operations and logistical support actually work? Part 1. The naval pivot, moving the chess pieces. We are witnessing the largest naval redistribution since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. The Pentagon is thinning the Pacific to flood the Persian Gulf. But where are U.S. nuclear aircraft carriers normally stationed? And how many could be sent toward Iran and the Middle East? On paper, the United States operates 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers, divided into two classes. The Nimitz class, 10 carriers commissioned between 1975 and 2009, forming the backbone of the fleet. The Ford class, the next generation. At present, only one is active, USS Gerald R. Ford, using electromagnetic catapults to launch aircraft faster and more efficiently. When the green light is given, the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, typically deployed in the South China Sea to deter China, can reach the Middle East in as little as 1 week. But it must first pass through the Strait of Malacca, one of the world's most dangerous maritime choke points. At the same time, a second carrier, USS George H.W. Bush, could depart from Norfolk, Virginia, cross the Atlantic, and enter the Mediterranean. This would leave the Pacific dangerously thin, with only USS Ronald Reagan, or its replacement USS George Washington, available in Japan. The objective is clear: deployed to full carrier strike groups off Iran's coast within 10 days, forming a powerful pincer-style deterrent. Part 2. Missile logistics, filling the sky. Following an initial strike on Iranian nuclear facilities, the United States had previously removed nearly 60% of its missile defense systems from Qatar. So how is that gap filled? The answer: massive airlift operations. The U.S. military must transport 4 to 6 Patriot batteries, along with components of a DOD system, requiring more than 300 heavy-lift cargo flights using C-17 Globemasters. But here's the detail most people miss: the missiles being moved are not the newest ones. Aging Patriot interceptors are being pulled from stockpiles in Germany and Japan. Why? Because they are a cheap and effective solution against Iran's thousands of Shade drones. Meanwhile, the newest and scarce PAC-3 kinetic interceptors are being reserved for ballistic and hypersonic missile threats. Cold War stockpiles are being emptied to preserve modern technology for the decisive fight. Part 3. The cost of war, burning billions. War is expensive. Moving an army is even more so. Operating a single carrier strike group costs between $6.50 and $9 million per day, covering nuclear maintenance, aviation fuel, and food for over 7,000 sailors. A single DOD interceptor costs approximately $12.70 million. An SM-3 missile launched from a destroyer costs up to $28 million per shot. When airlift fuel, naval surge operations, and pre-positioned munitions are combined, a 30-day deterrence operation exceeds $1.5 billion before a single shot is fired. Part 4. The logistics nightmare. Access denied. The true nightmare is access. As of January 2026, reports indicate a partial evacuation of Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar due to rising regional tensions. This is the worst-case scenario. If Qatar or the UAE deny port access out of fear of Iranian retaliation, U.S. carrier strike groups lose their critical logistical pit stops. While the carrier itself is nuclear-powered, its escorting destroyers require refueling every 3 days. Without friendly ports, the U.S. Navy must construct a 7,000-mile steel supply chain of oilers stretching back to Diego Garcia or Guam. If that chain breaks, the most powerful fleet in human history becomes a floating museum. Part 5. The air power alternative. America's hidden ace. But what if the carriers do not arrive in time? Can the United States fight without its Navy? The answer is yes. Focusing only on slow-moving ships misses the bigger picture. The United States holds an ace that does not depend on sea lanes: Air Force Global Strike Command. Within 24 hours, The US can deploy its 3 strategic bombers anywhere in the world. B-2 Spirit, the stealth door kicker, capable of flying non-stop from Missouri to Iran, penetrating the most advanced air defenses, and destroying deeply buried targets. B-1B Lancer, a high-speed, low-altitude heavy hitter carrying the largest payload of any U.S. bomber. B-52 Strato Fortress, an aging but lethal flying missile truck, launching long-range cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away. The attack unfolds in layers. B-2S neutralize high-value air defense systems. B-1 South suppress legacy anti-aircraft threats. B-52s then deliver sustained strikes with minimal risk. With only 19 B-2 bombers in service, carriers remain irreplaceable, but air power ensures the fight can begin long before they arrive.